So what we're gonna discuss today is motorcycle security during a trip. At the end of the stream, I will mention for a few minutes also how you can protect your motorcycle when you are at home. But the main topic of the stream is going to be how to protect your motorcycle when you travel. This is the topic of the stream. Okay. So you watch this? Okay, good. Yeah, this is the idea of all of my videos, eventually to be helpful and help many other people to make their trips easier than me, or they don't need to discover the hot water, as we say now in Bulgaria, if it's already discovered. So you don't need to go to the hard way to learn from your mistakes, because people like me will inform you about the pitfalls that are ahead and you can avoid it eventually. I'm glad that you're good, guys. Alexander, hello, how are you, man? So we have another one, 4 people already. Ogi, Big D, Nikolai and Alexander. Just wait 1 or 2 minutes more. Maybe Richard will come, because this topic was his idea, motorcycle security, and will be sad if he cannot make it. Richard, I just talking about you. I just said that the idea was yours, and if you don't come, it's not gonna be good, but you're here. Excellent. Alexander, not great, fell off my bike, broke 2 hands and a foot. Bad luck. Oh man, I'm really sorry about it. I'm really sorry. Really sorry about the accident, Alexander. I wish you all the best, fast recovery, and go on the bike as soon as possible, because now you have one moment that you have to overcome. When you have an accident, you have to sit on the bike and ride as soon as possible. Otherwise, something may break in you and it will be difficult for you after that. What happens, Alexander? What happens? Crash accident with another car, or just lost control? Yeah, this is what I know from many people. I had a few accidents. Most of the time most of my accidents just were very small. Pete, hi Pete, nice to see you. Nothing serious. The serious accident that I ever had was in Turkey a few years ago. But to be honest, it was not scary, because I knew that it was 100% my mistake. I knew what I did, and it was not scary for me. And right after the accident, I continued riding. So I overcome this moment very fast. But I know from my friends that if you don't ride immediately, then it's difficult to go and ride again, especially if you have an accident where the fault is not really yours. Then you might be scared to ride after that, but I hope everything will be alright with you. Alright guys, I will start the topic after 1 more minute. Motorcycle security during a trip. Once again, this is a topic that was suggested from Richard, Tenere Traveler. Thank you very much, Richard. You know, I have an old video on this topic, but I don't think that I will say anything new with this live stream, but because the information does not change very much, it doesn't matter that the video is already like 5 or 7 years old. The information that I'm going to provide now, it's about the same. So, Alexander, no crash, very slippery parking lot, 30-40 kilometers per hour, low side, turn it into high side and threw me over like a horse. Oh man. You know, it is still winter, Alexander. Even if you get the temperature like 15 to 16 degrees on the air, on the asphalt is still like 7-8 degrees. It's cold. Shit happens, man. I hope you will recover fast. And as I said, I wish you all the best, fast recovery. And I'm sure that you will overcome this and you will continue riding with pleasure. Alright guys, now let me do this stream. And as usual, after the stream, I will give you enough time if you have questions. My pleasure, Alexander, my pleasure. As I said, we are here to help each other. After the stream, of course, as usual, I will give you enough time to ask questions, or if you add something else. As you know, guys, this information will be useful for many people. So, what we're going to discuss today is motorcycle security during a trip. At the end of the stream, I will mention for a few minutes also how you can protect your motorcycle when you are at home. But the main topic of the stream is going to be how to protect your motorcycle when you travel. This is the topic of the stream. Another information that I'm going to give you that is will be like a bonus. So we know when you're at home you can make a lot of measures, but when you travel it's a little bit different. So the first question that you have to ask yourself, and it will help you a lot, is how easy is to steal a motorcycle without any protection. Because many people tend to say that if someone decided to steal your motorcycle, he or she will do it anyway. It doesn't matter what kind of protection you will make or take. But I will disagree with these statements, because to leave your motorcycle just like that in believing that no one will ever steal it, it's, in my opinion, reckless. In most of the countries around the world, people will never interesting from your motorcycle, but it doesn't mean that you have to leave it like that, especially with the ignition key over there. This is what most of the people do when they move away from their motorcycle. Just keep the ignition key over there. But anyway, let me tell you first how difficult it is to steal a motorcycle without ignition key. Let's assume that you took your key and the motorcycle is over there, locked, your steering is locked, and you're far away. If your motorcycle is produced before 2000, that means it won't have any immobilizer system. Immobilizer system is a small electronic chip that it stays in your key, and it also another one plastic box on your ignition, and they connect each other, and if you try to start the engine without the specific key, it won't start. This system is named immobilizer, if you don't know. But if your motorcycle is older than 20 or 25 years older, before 2000, it might be without immobilizer system, which is mean that you still have the key, but you don't have any electronic system, which is mean that anyone who has a key similar as yours, for example, if anyone make a copy of your key, go to the first key master or key locker, whatever the name is, he can copy your key, go and steal your key, because there is no chip, no immobilizer, nothing like that. This is the first. But then let's talk how difficult it is to steal your motorcycle without a key. Once again, we assume that you took your key, move away, you lock the steering, and you believing that the key or the ignition lock that you have, it's enough to protect your motorcycle. The first example will be without immobilizer. It will actually take to the thief between 5 and 10 seconds. In fact, if the thief is professional, he will start your motorcycle faster than you're gonna start your motorcycle with the key. That quick this procedure is, between 5 and 10 seconds. That's it. I'm gonna explain you how they're gonna do it later, but this is just for your information. So if you think that I just left the motorcycle just for 5 minutes, the thief will need 5 to 10 seconds, not 5 minutes. So if you don't trust on the conditions that you have at the moment, better is never leave your motorcycle without seeing it, because 10 seconds are enough. So I went to the toilet only for 5 minutes. It's just an excuse that thieves will laugh on it, because it's stupid. If you have immobilizer system, and I assume that most of you on your motorcycles, because they are after 2000, the year of 2000, will have immobilizer like I have on my Tenere, then with the copy of the key, it won't start. But it could be started if you have a specific software. So if the thief came with a specific software exactly for your motorcycle or the brand that you have, it will take between 50 seconds and maybe 2 minutes to break your ignition key, to start this software that he has, and then start your engine and go. So again, I went to the toilet for 5 minutes, just doesn't work. 10 seconds without immobilizer, 2 minutes with immobilizer. Okay, let's now see what is the protection that any motorcycle got and what protection you can have extra to stop or to slow this stealing process or breaking process or criminal process and protect your motorcycle. Let's first start with the ignition key system. I already told you, you have ignition, you have a key, you have ignition, start the engine and go. The first barrier is this ignition key system. But it is very simple. You see how small is your key? Even if you have new models, Honda or BMW, the key will be a little bit fatter with the different types of teeth here, but it doesn't matter. The system is always the same. So the thief is not going to try to pick lock, or what was the name of this word when they try to unlock, pick lock, whatever. They are not going to come as they coming usually on the movies with the two small sharp objects and try to adjust all of the teeth here and unlock your ignition system. No, they will just break it. They will just break it very fast, and I will tell you with what and how. They will make a small tool which is named breaker. It is usually made from a steel piece like this Allen key. If you cut it just from here, you will have a small piece of Allen key which is perfect to use at the end with number 10, with wrench number 10, like this. So they will cut this small part here, and then the front part, they will try to imitate as close as possible to your key. And you know, if you take 10 Japanese motorcycles, they will have very similar profile on their key. So they will try to imitate it as close as possible. They don't need any teeth, they just need to imitate the shape as close as possible. And when you have this in your pocket, let's say for Japanese motorcycles, for BMW, for Honda, you'll have like 10 in your pocket, or the thief will have a 10 in his pocket. And with this small piece of metal, and with the help of small wrench, what he will do will come, put this piece of metal on your ignition, just press it like that, put the wrench on the top and make, and that's it, and the ignition is broken. Because the whole power of your ignition is based on a few small metal pieces inside that need to be adjusted from your key to be possible to turn it. But when you have this tool, it will take actually 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, they will break your ignition and the motorcycle will be ready to start. Even if you lock your steering, it doesn't matter, because with the first step, they will unlock the steering, and the second step, they will have ignition, press the button and go. This will be the first step, 10 seconds, as I said. Handlebar lock, I already told you. Even if some people think that the thieves are so stupid that they will try to find the cables underneath and to make it like on the movies, to connect two cables, one red and one black, or two red, and just start the engine. No, they will just break your ignition and go for 10 seconds. The ignition, the steering lock, it doesn't matter, because it will be unlocked at the same time. You know, when you lock your steering on the left, for example, first you go with the key. First position is unlock the steering, second position is ignition. This is exactly what the thief will do with this small tool named breaker that I told you. So first system is obvious. The second barrier will be, again, they will have the breaker. They will make this processor for 10 seconds, but then you will have, let's assume that you have immobilizer system. Then I told you they will need another 2 minutes maximum to plug the computer, whatever is necessary to be plugged under your seat in the big connector, and find the necessary software and to unlock and start your engine. So let's say 2 minutes. First barrier ignition, second barrier is immobilizer. If they cannot start the motorcycle, let's assume that they do not have the software, they do not have the proper electronics to start your engine, but they will be still able to unlock your steering, and they can push your motorcycle whatever they want. Motorcycle is light. It is not a car. It is easy to be pushed. Pushed, loaded in van, or pulled by another motorcycle, whatever. I recently watched a video somewhere in UK, I think it was in Ireland. Two guys just broke the steering locking, just broke it. Two guys grabbed the handlebar, broke the steering, and pushed the motorcycle on the road. And then another guys with the motorcycles, with the help of their like this, they just push the motorcycle and they stole it. Very easy. So because the motorcycle is light, they can push it, load it in a van, or pull it with a rope, and that's it. You don't have motorcycle anymore, because it is not a car. Okay? So far so good. Let's then see what kind of protection or what kind of locks we can have to prevent the motorcycle from movement. Assume that ignition is already released. If you have immobilizer, it will stop the engine, but the motorcycle still could be pushed and loaded in the van and stuff like that. The first and the cheaper option that you can have is a cable lock like this. The one that I have on the tail of my motorcycle, I use this to lock my helmet when I walk around. But you can use also this to lock your motorcycle, to lock your front wheel, rear wheel. You can lock it if you have a nice size, like mine is like 1 meter. I can even lock it to something like a post, pylon, piece of metal, or whatever you decided. This is a nice barrier, but if the thief is determined to steal your motorcycle, if he's a professional, he will come with a very simple tool. This one, it's a small cutter. You know this, to cut the wirings. And with the help of this, it will actually take, you might believe that because this is fat, it's not gonna happen. No, they're not gonna cut it like that. They will cut it piece by piece. It will take, I'll say, no more than 1 minute. Once I've got argument with the guy who was not believing, and then we make this experiment, and it took me exactly 35 seconds to cut cable like this. 35 seconds with a simple cutter like that. Battery grinders will come to battery grinders later, Pete. Lock picking, yes, this was the word, lock picking. So this cable lock, it's a nice barrier that could be destroyed for 1 minute. Even if you're very slow, it will take 2 minutes, but you can cut it very easy. So this is not a real barrier. This is something maybe better than anything, than nothing, but it's still, I'll say, like nothing. So this is the first barrier. Then let's say the next barrier is going to be disc locks. There are many different types of disc locks. I'm gonna tell you what I have, but unfortunately I don't have it now with me because my disc lock, the one that I use all the time, I lost it now on the way back from Magadan. Somewhere around Europe, I did not notice it. It has a small, like a plate that is held to the motorcycle with a big bolt, and this bolt somewhere around the road unscrew, untied, and I lost it somewhere on the road. I don't know where it is. I ordered a new model, the same disc lock. I ordered it already, but still did not arrive yet, so I cannot show it, but I'm gonna tell you what kind of model it is. Anyway, so the disc locks are many types. If you buy something solid, like the one that I'm gonna recommend after a while, you'll be alright. It will be almost impossible to remove this disc lock from your disc or chain, whatever you decided to lock it. But there are many cheap models that are very, very fragile. There are models that are with a small lock, looks like a circle lock, and this could be unlocked even with a simple plastic pen. You can find a lot of videos on YouTube how they open it with a pen. There are others with a little bit more specific lock, like this one here, similar like this, and keys like this. This is a key that you cannot really lock picking, but it's very easy to break it again with a breaker. Or if you cannot break it with a breaker, these cheap disc locks are usually made from not from steel. They are made from some kind of what is the word of this? Let me check. I don't know the word. Mixed materials, but let me check just to be clear. Alloy. I'm not sure about it. Anyway, some kind of mixed materials, and they are not really that hard. Composite, okay, composite, whatever the name is. These materials are actually very hard, but it is easy to break it. So with the help of big hammer and chisel, you can break it very easy. Not like you'll break this, but it will take just a few nice knocks and they will fall apart. Honestly, because they are fragile. They look solid, but they are not, because they are cheap. Usually they cost like 20-30 euros and they don't protect much. So don't buy this type of disc locks because they are not that efficient. They don't work. They can be removed easy. Of course, it is much better to have a disc lock that is cheap for 20 euros then nothing, especially if you follow the tips that I'm gonna tell you after a few minutes. So the next one is going to be disc lock with alarm system. This is a good option because you will have alarm system. So if anyone try to break this disc lock, move it, usually when you move it even a little bit, they start to scream immediately with 110 decibels, and many people around could hear these alarms. But now in 2024, especially in the big cities, no one really bothers from alarms. It's not like before. So alarm could save your motorcycle, but also might be just nothing, a noise around that people will not pay any attention. And also alarm could be neutralized very easy if you just use, for example, a towel soaked with water, bend it around this alarm system, and the sound is 110 decibels will be minimized to something like 10 decibels, like nothing. And then they can try to break it, if they can, if the brake disc is not that solid, if it's from stupid cheap composite materials. Anyway, the next one is a grip lock. I've seen this a few times on the road. Grip lock is a locking system that actually locks your front brake in a brakes position. Front brake it's locked with the throttle and brake at the same time, and actually you cannot move the motorcycle. But this, in my opinion, is very stupid solution, because you can cut the lever very easy, even with this, or with bolt cutter you can just cut it and it will be easy to do it. Or you can cut the brake lines and then the brake will be released and you can ride the motorcycle only with the rear brake, for example, if you steal it. If you steal it, you can ride it even without brakes. So this system is not really an option, in my opinion. Then there are many different options. There are U-locks with big padlock like that, U-lock, big chains, fat chains, any different sorts of padlocks that you can lock your motorcycle, but all of them could be easily neutralized or removed if you have a big bolt cutter, this size. So these bolt cutters, they are cure for any lock, U-lock, padlock, chain, anything. It's take again 10 seconds, bam, that's it, and you don't have any locking mechanism or device on your motorcycle. Yeah, the thief supposed to come with a big bolt cutter, but do you really believe that in a big city someone will pay attention to a person who is walking around with a bolt cutter? He might be construction worker, so it's not a problem at all. Also could be hide it somewhere in the jacket, remove it in the last second, pam, here again, and the second take your motorcycle and go. So bolt cutter, use anything. If the locking system that you use is so tough that cannot be destroyed by cannot be pig lock, cannot be destroyed by chisel and hammer, cannot be destroyed with this type of cutters, cannot be destroyed with a bolt cutter, then there are so many accessible and cheap nowadays power grinders with batteries, like Alexander said, or who said? Pete. Power grinders. They are very, very easy to work, very cheap, very small. So power grinder will cut any metal in the matter of 30-40 seconds, maximum 1 minute. And then your motorcycle will be free to go, pushed. So these are the 9 different protections that you can have, and all of them are easy. All of them are easy to destroy, or whatever is the right word to use, to eliminate or just to remove from the motorcycle. And each one of them will slow the professional thief with just a couple of minutes maximum. That's it. So they are not really protection. So let's say that you park your motorcycle in front of your hotel room. So the motorcycle is there. You lock it with your disc lock, and you can hear anything. So you cannot really, or the thief cannot really destroy your disc lock in front of your room, because you'll hear, you sleep over there, or in front of your tent if you're in a camping, for example. But what they can do is just to move your motorcycle. If you don't have a disc lock, they will move it easy. If you have a disc lock, they can move it again. They can load your front wheel on something like a skateboard, just load it on skateboard, and then push it slowly, 20 meters away, and then destroy what is the protection, and your motorcycle is gone. So this is also not a real option. It is something, but not a real option. In this situation, you will trust only on yourself that you will have a light sleep and you will hear anything. But I know from my experience, sometimes you sleep very light, sometimes you sleep like a deadlock, especially if you spend 10 or 12 hours riding and you're very tired and you're on noisy street, you're not gonna hear anything. That's why this is also not a real solution. So once again, around 10 different types of protection or 10 different ways to protect your motorcycle, and all of them could be easily eliminated with a simple tools or with a simple techniques. So now what exactly we have to do to protect our motorcycles? So let me tell you that there is no such a thing like 100% safety or 100% security. This is the reason why we have insurances. To have insurance on your motorcycle is something good. But you have to know that insurance companies are something very complicated, and it is not easy to insure your motorcycle, especially if you go abroad. Also, even if you have insurance company, even if your company pay for anything, I cannot even imagine what will be to be in the middle of the trip and someone to steal your motorcycle. Okay, the insurance company will pay when you get back home, but what you're gonna do in the middle of the trip, in the middle of the country, without a motorcycle? So insurance company is something that might save you a lot of problems and save you money after that, but not on the moment. So insurance company will just move it on the side like now. So what we can do? Once again, all locks, chains, alarms, and everything are designed to slow down the thief. Once you accept this fact, the rest is easy. All the protection that you can put, it doesn't matter which one from this you're gonna pick, is there only to slow down the thief. Or if the thief is not a professional, eventually to discourage him, or to give you enough time or maybe enough noise that you can hear it, or someone hear it, or someone see it. That's why it's all of this protection. It's not a cure, it's not a miracle that will protect your motorcycle. So what I have, what I use when I travel, I have this, let me type it here for you so you can find it. I use a disc lock from Abus. The name is Granite 68, Abus Granite 68. It has very specific shape. Just to let you know that I am not paid from Abus, this is not affiliate link, I'll just type you the name here. So if you like to go and search it and find it, I can guarantee that this disc lock is almost impossible to unlock, because the key is very specific. It's very tall key and very not so wide, so any breaker will break inside before open it. So the system is very different. It cannot be cut with a bolt cutter because of the specific shape that it has. There is no room to put a bolt cutter inside. There is no room. When you see this disc lock, when you see how it sits on your front disc or rear disc, whatever you can mount it, you'll see that it is physically impossible to have a big bolt cutter inside. You can destroy it, you can cut it with a grinder, but because the material is so solid, it's a very tough steel, it will take a lot of time. It will probably first destroy your disc or rotor, brake rotor, then the disc lock, because it's from very, very solid material. I can guarantee that with these power grinders, small power grinders, will be impossible, or at least you will need at least 2 or 3 of this Scheibe, what is the name of this? The actual material that cut it. Anyway, it will take a lot of time. So, of course, this disc lock from Abus cannot protect someone to move your motorcycle. But it is something. Yes, they can load your front wheel on the skateboard, for example, and move it away. Fair enough. But you can lock your rear wheel. They can lock your rear and unlock your steering and still move it. Fair enough, but it is better than nothing. That's why I will give you a lot of tips after that will help you to protect your motorcycle. But the first barrier, ignition lock, assume that is broken. The second barrier, this disc lock, is impossible to remove from the disc. I can guarantee that it's 95% impossible. If there are people, 5% of the thieves from around the world are able to unlock this disc lock or remove it somehow, they honestly deserve the motorcycle. But I don't think that you will find this type of people. It's a very solid device. I used it for many years. No one ever tried to steal my motorcycle with it, but I can guarantee that it will be almost impossible. So, the first barrier, ignition is unlocked. The second barrier is your disc lock. I'm sorry that I repeat everything, but I just want to make it clear because we are not on live conversation. I'm talking, but I cannot hear your opinion. I cannot understand what you understood so much. That's why I talk a little bit more, but bear with me. At the end, I'm sure that you understand everything. So now I have, as I told you, there is no 100% security. That's why I have a lot of tips that if you follow these tips, these tips will protect your motorcycle much more than any kind of security system that you can buy on the market today. So number one, parking. Always park your motorcycle in busy area in front of big coffee shop, restaurant, bank with surveillance cameras, or in front of hotel where the guys from the hotels, from the reception can see it, or place where you have people around. So when you park your motorcycle in these visible areas with a lot of people or security cameras or people around, and you have your disc lock, will be almost impossible for someone to come and push your motorcycle or lift it for 3-4 people to lift your motorcycle and move it away, load it in the van when they have so many witnesses around. This is the first thing, to pick very carefully your parking, where you're gonna park your motorcycle. I assume that you're not so stupid to leave your motorcycle in a dark street without any people, but anyway, you don't have to leave your motorcycle on the streets without any people. It doesn't matter what kind of protection you're gonna do. Even if you have a machine gun over there, machine gunner, someone will steal it if they want. If the motorcycle is left without any protection, without any people around, without anything. That's why first is parking. Busy areas in front of coffee shops, restaurants, banks, hotels, somewhere where people will see it. Second, never park a motorcycle next to the road. Go on the sidewalk. When you park your motorcycle next to the road, you give a chance to a big van to stop next to your motorcycle, big van, and then load it into the van very easy. When you park your motorcycle on the sidewalk, as far as possible from the main street, that means the van could stop here on the main street, and 2 or 3 people need to walk to your motorcycle, then they have to spend a lot of energy to push your motorcycle from there to the van, and this could be seen from many people, especially if you park on busy area with a lot of coffees, restaurants, banks, or receptions. So all of this action could be seen from many people and eventually stopped. Someone might call police if they see some suspicious people pushing a motorcycle, especially when you have your disc lock already mounted. And you don't have to underestimate the situations. To put your disc lock on your motorcycle usually takes like 20-30 seconds. And I don't think that 20-30 seconds will break your schedules for the day. So spend this 20-30 seconds and lock your motorcycle. Even if the area looks pretty solid and safe and no problem at all, put your disc lock. You can thank me later. So first is the parking. Very carefully choose the parking. If you cannot find a nice place to park your motorcycle, then go to the hotel and ask in the reception where I can park my motorcycle. We don't have a parking, but you can park it here and there. Can I park it here in front of the reception so you can see it? In most of the cases, they'll say, yeah, absolutely, no problem. You can park it here. Especially if you're in a small place, small town or village, small hotels or guest houses. They usually got a place to park your motorcycle. They have backyards or stuff like that. Even if they don't have, you have to find a place. Let me tell you one story, real story from my trip around Turkey. I went to a town, I think was Van. The town was Van, next to Van Lake. And the hotel that I booked was next to the main street. But it was something that I don't really like. I asked and the hotel was on the 3rd floor. And I asked on the reception where I can park the motorcycle, and they said, you can park it here in front of the hotel. It was a sidewalk, but big main street, 2 lanes like that, big sidewalk, and he said you can park it here on the sidewalk, and we have cameras. And it looks solid, but I still understand that on this main street, thousands of people and cars will cross it for the time that my motorcycle is over there. So thousands of people will see my motorcycle. And from these thousands of people, I don't need thousands, I need only one wrong person to see it and to come later and take it. So I asked the reception, is it here safe? And he said, yeah, it's safe, absolutely, we have cameras. Then I parked the motorcycle in front of the cameras, but I was not really sure about it. So I went to the room. My room was on the 6th floor. So from the room, I cannot even see the motorcycle because it was next to the building. So from the room, I cannot even see it. Even if I see it, I'm sure definitely I cannot hear anything. So I was not convinced that the position or the location is safe. So I went down again and moved the motorcycle to another shop, which was a pharmacy, with 2 big cameras faced both sides. But then I thought, man, I'm here all right with these cameras. But if a thief came with a hat like this, what the cameras will help me? And I'm in the middle of my trip, thousands of kilometers away from home. What I'm gonna do if someone decided to load it in the van and go on the next morning? So I was not convinced. So I went again down, started the motorcycle, and because I saw a police station next to the hotel, I went to this police station, and there were like 3-4 guys in front of the police. They were chatting over there. And I asked them, do you speak English? And one of the guys said, yeah, we do speak English. What we can do for you? I said, listen, I'm a tourist, park my motorcycle in front of this hotel, but I don't feel really safe with people and traffic here. And can I park the motorcycle here in front of police because of protection, because of security? And one of the guys said, where was your motorcycle? Where is your motorcycle? He understood that someone stole my motorcycle. I said, no, my motorcycle is fine. It is in front of the hotel. I am asking, can I stop it here in front of police because of security reasons? And he said, no, this is a protected area, safety area, security area. We cannot park it here. I said, I can park it here on the sidewalk. It's just to be next to police so people will never touch it. He said, no, I'm really sorry, we cannot do it here. But there is a big parking here, paid parking in one of the malls nearby. You can park it there. And another guy from this police, he asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Bulgaria. And he said, what you do? I said, I'm a policeman. Oh, really? You're a colleague? I said, yeah, I'm a policeman. I'm a colleague because I know I have this police face. People usually thinking that I'm a policeman. Say, yeah, I'm a colleague. I said, what branch? I said, criminal police. Oh, you're our colleagues. We'll help you. Let's go to the parking of this mall. So we went to the mall, me and 2 police guys with me walking to the mall. And they asked the security guard, do you have a places in the parking? This is a colleague from Bulgaria. He wants to park his motorcycle. And the guard over there said, yeah, absolutely no problem. I'm not going to charge even money. If it's your colleague, he can park it here. And I said, yeah, thank you very much. But at what time the parking will be open tomorrow morning? And he said, around 9:30. I said, listen, I want to start very early. 9:30 is just too late for me. And the guys, the policemen, my friend said, okay, if it's not good, let's go to find, there is another one paid parking here, we can go there. So we went to another one paid parking in the area. And they again asked the security guard, and they said, colleague from Bulgaria, he can park the motorcycle. Is it possible? And he said, yeah, absolutely, it is possible. But this paid parking was an empty yard without any fences, anything, just an empty spot with 2 big cameras. And this guy said, I'm here until 10 and then I'll come early morning. And I said, who is going to protect the motorcycle? And he said, we have cameras. I said, oh man, these cameras, they just doesn't work well for me. I don't want to stop it here. And I said to these policemen, to these guys, I said, okay guys, I understand, but I don't want to waste any more from your time. Let's go back. I'll try to find another solution around the town. And while we were walking back, we saw a big, very fancy hotel next to the road with something like a parking lot in front of the hotel and a lot of beautiful modern cars. And around 10 different Harley Davidson, brand new, park over there. I said, wow, this is perfect. This is the place where I can park my old Tenere and no one will ever touch it because there are so many motorcycles here. And because of these motorcycles, I'm sure that they will have a person to watch them all the time. So I said to these people, can we ask on the reception if it's possible to park my motorcycle there? They say, yeah, absolutely no problem. So they went inside and spoke with the receptionist and said, colleague from Bulgaria, they can park motorcycle here. And they said, oh, no problem, no problem. Park it here. So I brought my motorcycle and stopped it in front of this fancy hotel with 24-hour security without any problems. So this is just one of the examples that you can always find a solution if you're just a little bit more creative. Yeah, it took me like half an hour, but then I went to sleep. On the next morning, the motorcycle was there, no problem. I continued my trip. Just one example. So parking, it's very, very important. So second advice, never park the motorcycle next to the road because it could be loaded. Park it somewhere on the side, as difficult as possible access to a minivan or a bus. It might be very easy for you to go with a motorcycle, even to climb some stairs or to go down from some stairs, but not with the car. Make it as difficult as possible to be loaded into the van. Then disc lock position. I told you that I have this granite Abus 68, but the way you're gonna mount your disc lock on your disc will make it easy to remove or difficult to remove. For example, if it's easy for you to lock it from inside, to be easy for you to access it with the key from outside of the wheel, if you mount it on the other way around, it will be very difficult for you to mount it, but you can imagine that it will be even more difficult for the thief to remove it or break it, because he's not gonna have any access. If it's difficult for you with the key, it will be very difficult for him with the tools or eventually to move it. Also, you can try to use two different disc locks instead of one. You can lock your front wheel and you can lock the rear as well. This is another one barrier that you can have to extra protection if you're afraid that the place is not safe enough. Then cover the bike. If you have a cover. I don't have a cover. I never took a cover with me because it takes a lot of space. But if you have a heavy luggage, if you have hard panels, if you still have a space in your luggage, bring a cover with you. A cover usually takes size like that, and you can cover your motorcycle. When the motorcycle is covered, the thieves are not going to be able to see what kind of motorcycle it is or what kind of protection it has. They need to come very close. They need to remove the cover, see what it is, and then come back. But this might grab attention to people around, and it is something that usually thieves will avoid. So they will probably try to find an easy target. So cover really helps. Even though I don't have it with me, it really helps. The next tip that I can give you, especially if you sleep in a camping spot, is to attach something to the bike. What I usually do, one of the ropes from my tent is attached to the bike, but not on so visible position, not so visible. So if the thief come later in the evening and try to push my motorcycle, one of the ropes from the tent is usually attached to the bottom part of the motorcycle. So when they move the motorcycle, the whole tent will move, and I will eventually wake up. There are also some small alarms. They call it personal alarms. I don't have it with me to show you now, but they are small plastic boxes with a piece of rope and a small pin. If you remove the pin from the plastic box, it squeezes very, very alarming, like 110 decibels, like alarm. So you can use one of these, attach it to your motorcycle, especially when you sleep on a tent or somewhere on the wild camping. And if anyone move your motorcycle, they will scream like a crazy and eventually wake up you. So this is another one solution. And the last tip that I can tell you is to think like a thief. I know that this may sound very weird now, and you might say, Pavel, I'm not a thief. How I supposed to think like a thief? Or just pretend that you're a thief. Pretend that you're there to steal this motorcycle, to steal your motorcycle, and think what I can do at the moment, how I can steal it, how I can move it from there without anyone see it, or how I can unlock this disc, or how I can break this system, or what I can do. Let's assume that your life depends on that to steal this motorcycle. What are you gonna do? And this will give you so many different ideas or so many different angles that you haven't seen before that, and you will see where the weak spots are. For example, you see, oh man, I can bring a van here and load it there. Fair enough, move it on the side. Oh man, I can load the front wheel on the skateboard and move it. Fair enough, lock the rear as well. Or I can come here with the bolt cutter and cut it. Fair enough, put the chain on the position which is not accessible with bolt cutter. And many more like this. It's just few examples how you can think like a thief to to protect your own motorcycle. I hope that you got it now. Let me now tell you a few things or few moments how you can protect your motorcycle in your garage. Because many people assume that when they have a garage is locked and that's it. No one will come to steal your motorcycle from your garage. It's not like that. People steal anything. Any system, any locks could be broken. Anything could be stolen. That's why to leave your motorcycle just like that, especially if you have a garage, again, it's reckless. I have seen many people, they've got nice garages, nice location, and they keep the motorcycles in the garage with the ignition, with the lock, with the key on the ignition. So what is the problem? If someone come and open the door of your garage, you make it so easy. You even leave them the key to go. Why? It's stupid. Even in your garage, always take your key. Always lock your steering. Yeah, it is easy to unlock it with a breaker that I told you, but it is still a barrier. It is still a noise that could be heard from you while you sleep, from your neighbor, from your dogs, whatever. It is still a barrier. I'm not saying that you have to put the disc lock, even though it will be a nice barrier, but at least take your key. If you have alarm system on your garage, activate it. I live in Bulgaria. I live in an area which is very safe. I don't think that anyone will come here to touch my motorcycle in my garage because it's very safe area. I don't know how to describe it in any way. It is safe area, but even so, I always remove my key. I lock the key in a small safe that I have, small safe that I have mounted on the bottom of my garage with big bolts so you cannot remove it there. So I put the key inside, I lock this safe and go home, and even so I have alarm system on my garage. Even while I'm here and while I sleep. Because to trust that you sleep very light and you'll hear anything, it's impossible. Even though area that I live is very quiet and any small noise, I always wake up. Even so, I remove the key, lock it in the safe and turn on alarm system while I sleep. When I'm here in the house, not when I'm away, when I'm in the house. So this is how I prefer to protect my stuff, because I don't want to blame anyone after that, if you understand what I mean. All right, this discussion was long enough. Now, guys, if you have any ideas, any more things to suggest or any questions, just go ahead and I'm here to listen to you. Richard, yeah, if you travel with others, lock the bikes together. This is a good tip. Thank you very much. We always do that when you travel many people. The best way is to lock them together, make them difficult to move. Alexander, do you happen to know if it's common just disassemble the wheels to avoid lock picking? No, I haven't heard. It is possible to remove the wheel. Yeah, you can remove the front wheel. You can do it, but it's a little bit more complicated procedure. Or the thief also could make it, but again, it's another one obstacle that will slow down the thieves. And this cannot be done if you choose the proper location, which I just told you, the location, where you're gonna park it, how you're gonna park it, who is going to see it, and stuff like that. Okay, is there an insurance company in Bulgaria that will say better for motorcycles, best way to comfort someone stealing your motorcycle? I don't think that you can find a motorcycle company that will insure your motorcycle at all. They don't insure motorcycles even for accidents, and for stealing, nothing at all. It's impossible. Richard, a chain around the front wheel stopping the main stand going up makes it very hard to move the bike. Yeah, true, that is true. But the chain could be cut very easy with bolt cutters, Richard. It's a barrier, it's an obstacle, but easy to remove it. Believe it or not, these chains are so much easier to remove than a normal disc lock. So if I have to choose between a cheap disc lock and chain, I will go for the cheap disc lock, because the chain is very easy to remove. Cut and that's it. 10 seconds. As I said, nothing is 100%, but the tips that I told you will help you much more than anything else. Air tags. Yeah, this is also. In UK, Richard, you probably seen anything. A few months ago, last year actually, a British guy came here in Varna, and I saw that his ignition key, I've got a small rope here, and the rope was tightened around the handlebar. And I said, why is this? Why you have this rope here? So you worry that you're gonna lose your key? And he said, no, in UK we have another scheme. What they usually do when I wait at the traffic light, usually a small kid coming next to me, walk around the motorcycle, and then grab the ignition and run away. And while the kid is run away, he send the key to someone else. And until I try to catch the key, someone else sit on my motorcycle with the key, start and just go. It's a very simple scheme, but it works. And that's why they tie their keys with a rope around the handlebar, so the people cannot take it just like that. Pete, park your bike as close to wall as possible. This way you'll find it hard to move away. Very true, especially if you have your disc lock on the other side, the side of the wall, difficult to access and difficult to move. Yeah, this next to the wall it's a good tip. Anything that will make the movement hard or that will slow down the thief, it's something that you have to use. That's why I said, think like a thief. Go on the other way around and see what I'm gonna do if I have to move this motorcycle. This and that. Try to eliminate all possible ways, and that's it. I just told you the example about UK and the keys that they lock. Now when I was in Magadan, because my motorcycle was staying in front of these apartments. I was on the 4th floor. Motorcycle was behind the apartment on very dark place over there. And I rang on the telephone to one local guy and said, man, do you have any garage or place where I can park my motorcycle for the night? Because I'll be here for 2-3 days and I don't want to leave it on the street. And he said, why don't leave it on the street? I said, because I'm afraid that someone might steal it. He said, steal it? Your motorcycle from the street? I said, yeah. He said, no one do it here. I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? He said, no one will touch your motorcycle. Don't worry about it. I said, yeah, but still. He said, we don't have thieves here. Don't worry about it. This is not Europe. Don't worry. He get upset even that I asked that someone might steal my motorcycle, that I asked for a garage. See how big is the difference. He said, we don't have thieves in Russia. We don't steal motorcycles in Russia. No one do it here. So this is a big difference, guys. Big difference. Accept it as you want or think whatever you want, but this is a big difference. People in Russia get upset when I ask them where I can park my motorcycle because someone might steal it. On the other way of the world, the other around of the world, in the Western world, when everything is civilized, nice and beautiful and only roses, they steal your motorcycle while you ride it on the streets. Whatever. Richard, do your best and don't let stop your travels. Absolutely, because when the travels stop, this is my worst nightmare. I don't know what I'm gonna do if someone tries to steal my motorcycle or someone steal my motorcycle. I have one example from Kazakhstan. I was there in 2015, and because my friend's motorcycle broke, we have a broke down situation, so we stopped next to the road on big parking. And until we tried to fix the motorcycle and stuff like that, we were waiting another one car to come and load the motorcycle. I say to the car to the guy with the car that I'm gonna leave my motorcycle on the road. Here was the road and here was the parking. They were on different levels. So I can see my motorcycle from the parking like this. So I was not afraid that my motorcycle is on the road. And I said to this guy with the car, when you come into this road, you'll see my motorcycle on the road, and then you have to come to the parking and load the motorcycle of my friend. But then on some stage, while we were working on his motorcycle, a big truck came and stopped here and blocked the view to my motorcycle. So I cannot see it anymore. But because we're busy with the motorcycle of my friend, I just ignore that. And after a few minutes, when the truck moved, I saw that my motorcycle is not there. Oh! You know the feeling. You know how you feel this cold water on your back. And I said, what the fuck? And I run immediately in this direction, and I found the motorcycle around 50 meters ahead. Someone tried to push it, and finally drop it on the side next to the road. My key was not there. What they tried, I don't know. Or maybe the truck moved in the right moment, so they abandoned the decision. Anyway, but it was just that close, because I left my motorcycle for a couple of seconds without seeing it. In Kazakhstan, in the middle of nowhere. So you never know. You take everything, or you have to make anything what you can. If helps, helps. If not, at least you can say after that, okay, I've done everything that I can, but it didn't help. Nikolai, off topic. What make model is your phone holder on the Tenere? The phone holder on the Tenere is brand name GIP. GIP, like that. It is from AliExpress, very cheap. They have different models. You can turn it like this or like that. It's from solid aluminum and it's very solid. It has a thumb screw on the top to tighten it. Very cheap, but very, very good solution. It works very, very, very well. Yeah, okay, it was my lucky day. I'm a lucky person, you know. Alright guys, so if you don't have anything to add, or if you don't have any more questions, I plan to end the stream here. Alexander, please see my comment question above. I'm also curious, what are your thoughts about GPS trackers? Keys with the phone. Okay, do you mark your keys with the phone number? I did a full visible location, my name and phone number on the case lost. No, I did not, but it's maybe a good idea. Do you happen to know, come on this demo wheels over the books? Alexander, okay. I have a GPS tracker on my motorcycle, and this is probably a topic for another live stream, what kind of GPS tracker you can have. I have a GPS trackers from Monimoto. It is a Latvian company, Monimoto. Works very well. It has a small device that you can hide in your motorcycle, and then it has a small chip that you keep with the documents on your motorcycle. So if your motorcycle run away without this small chip, it's immediately ring on your telephone for about 20-30 seconds. It will ring on your telephone and will give you the signal. And let me give you the link to this company so you can see what it is. Just a second. I have it for many years. It's a wonderful company. I work with them. I have no complaints at all. I have even a few reviews to see what exactly it is. I will drop you the link here. Link is to my website. Go there and you'll find videos and link to the company. It's a good device. I had it on my old Tenere. I have it on my new Tenere. It's something that might protect you. It's very useful because if anyone move your motorcycle, even if they only just shake it like that, this device usually notice that and immediately call to your telephone and give you the location. So every 10 seconds they will give you the location where the motorcycle is at the moment. So someone might come, load your motorcycle on the van and go without they know that you have a GPS tracker, and then you will follow the location and you can find it after that. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Big D. Nikolai. Good friend in London had 2 motorcycles stolen in the past 10 years. First one from the front of yard in his house, second in central London, since they are using GPS trackers with GCM SIM cards. GPS tracker it's a good solution. It's not a panacea, but at least like anything else, it's at least something that might help you in the right moment with the right people. So that's it. We might discuss it next time or any other stream. We might discuss GPS trackers and stuff like that. But anyway, go and check this video that I uploaded. I have 2 or 3 videos with these GPS trackers, so they might be solution for you. There are many different cheap options, but I don't think that they will work that well. Thank you very much, Alexander. My pleasure, my pleasure. Yes, it is true. They can block the GPSs. These devices are named, we call them this, they block the signal. They block all GPS signals in a few hundred meters around. But this is only if they know that the motorcycle got a GPS tracker device. This could be applied if you have some very expensive models, but I don't think that anyone will think that you travel with this motorcycle. It's not something very expensive and you have a GPS tracker. So Again, anything could be avoided, but all of these things are there to slow down and eventually discourage the thief, or eventually give you enough time to see them. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for coming to this live stream. I'm gonna end it here and see you next week. I still don't know the topic, but I'm sure that we're gonna find something interesting. All right, ciao.